Hello everyone, welcome to day 3 of our HP Quickstart training class. This is day 3 of 5. My name is Rhett Scott with hpCommerce Software. Today's topic will be working with vendors, purchasing, purchase advice, and automated reordering. The purchase advice report is designed to help you understand what you may need to order. In order to really successfully use that system, you need to do a little bit of pre-work. Let's go out to part number maintenance. So we'll go out to the main menu, go into the inventory submodule menu, and then we'll pull up a part. Try to find a particular item I want to look up. There's our Jack Dirt Wing that we ordered earlier. In order to use the purchasing advice report to its fullest, you would want to configure a minimum and maximum for the items that you're interested in, always keeping in stock. So if you have items that are just important to the ongoing operation of your business and you always want to have on the shelf, you can indicate a minimum and maximum quantity, and then this will get picked up on the purchasing advice report. Most of our customers use minimum and maximum as a seasonal indicator. In the off-season, they may indicate a minimum quantity that they always want to have available. And then in season, they have a max quantity that they always want to have available. And that's the way that most of our customers use that information. When it comes to the automated reordering system, which we'll cover next, you'll also be able to use a reorder quantity if you want to. And that will allow you to indicate a minimum reorder quantity that your vendor requires, and then you'll have the option of ordering using the automated reordering system in conjunction with that requirement. So let's go back to our report. We'll go ahead and go in to edit this item, and we'll indicate that we want to have off-season a minimum of 5 here and then a maximum of 15 for this item. We'll go ahead and save our changes, and then we're going to go back into our report. So we'll go into the submodule menu, purchase order module, and then the purchase advice report. It will start prompting you for information that will help you understand what you need to order. So if you're using the back order system and there are outstanding back orders out there, then you would want to indicate that you would want to consider back order quantities in the report. So you could say yes. And then if you're just wanting to take a look at a specific product line code, you can limit the report to do just that. In this case, I just want to look at All-Star. And then you can indicate the sort for the order. And then it wants to know whether or not you want to be advised on bringing the inventory quantities up to minimum or to maximum. We're going to say maximum, so we'll select no. And then it will go through and find everything for that product line that it believes that we need to order in order to bring it up to max. In this case, we have the Jack Dirt Wing that we were just working with, and I had indicated a maximum quantity on hand of 15. It sees that we currently have 11 in-house, and so it wants to order some. Since there are only 10 available, because one is committed to an order, it wants to order 5 in order to bring it back up to 15. You can print out this report. You can use it to make adjustments, because in the end, you're the final say on what gets ordered. The final topic that I want to cover is the automated reordering system. The automated reordering system is designed to give you a head start on creating a purchase order. There is some pre-work that needs to be done in order to make full use of the system. One of those items is indicating minimum and maximum quantities and a reorder quantity. The other item that will help the system work as well as it possibly can is to indicate what product lines you purchase from a given vendor that you want to create a PO for. We have customers that have a parts truck service where they have a truck that comes by every night that refills their stock. And at the end of the day, they need to generate a purchase order to send out to that supplier for that parts truck. It would take them potentially hours every day to create a PO if they had to do it completely by hand. But by using the automated reordering system, in just a few minutes every day, they can generate a PO and then either fax it or email it to their supplier. They do that by using the automated reordering system, setting their minimum and maximum on items, and also indicating the product lines that they purchase from the vendor. Let's go out and see how you set up the product lines. So we'll go back out to the main menu, go into Vendor Management, pull up our vendor, and then we can go into product lines. This is a list of product lines that we say that we purchase from this vendor. We have All-Star, Doug's Headers, Perfect Circle, and Redline. You can add as many product lines as you want. Once you have this pre-work done, then you're ready to create a PO. We'll go back into the purchase order system. So go into the submodule menu, into the purchase order module, and then go into start a new PO. It'll warn us that there are existing POs in the system. We're going to say no, we want to start a new PO. We'll page down, and then we'll escape out of the purchase order items prompt. Then we use the automated reordering tool, F9 automated reorder. So all this is going to do is build the PO for us. Once it builds the PO, it's just a purchase order. We can do anything we want with it. We can add additional items, we can delete items, we can even start up a PO and add items onto it manually and then use the automated reordering system. Any combination will work. Once you specify that you want to use the automated reorder tool, it then brings up this form and you must answer the questions here in order to get the results that you're after. So it wants to know whether we want to bring our items up to min or max. I'm going to say max. It wants to know if we want to consider negative stock, if we want to consider back orders, if we want to consider other open and pending purchase orders, so not to double up on quantities. Even if you were working with the same purchase order. So let's say that you put some items on a purchase order and you saved the purchase order, and then you opened it back up and you're then going to use automated reordering. It will consider the items that you've even added to this PO once you've saved the PO and then use the tool. Then it wants to know what you want to consider. In this case, what product lines do we want to consider? So we just want to consider the product lines that we've set up for just the vendor. And we're not going to have it prompt us for any additional product lines to consider. And then if there are product lines that are set up on the vendor, it wants to know what kind of prompting we want. So does it want us to prompt us for each product line one at a time, or do we just want to process them all? We're just going to process them all silently. And then the last question is, it wants to know what items do we want to consider. When you set up a vendor on the part maintenance system by using the vendor cost system that we touched lightly on earlier, you can indicate whether the vendor is a primary or secondary vendor. That then allows you in automated reordering to fine-tune your selections and say, well, I want to process the All-Star line, for instance, but I only want to process and look at those items where MotorState is the primary vendor I've indicated for the items. In this case, we're just going to select all. And then if we have the vendor cost system turned on, whether or not we want to use those costs. And this is where we talked about the reorder quantities. You know, if there are reorder quantities set up, do we want to consider those? And if the quantity we need cannot make it up to that reorder quantity, do we want to round up in order to be able to get the item onto the PO? In this case, I'm just going to say no here, and then we're going to go build the PO. So it's gone through and it's checked all the product lines for the vendor, It's checked to see what needs to be brought up to max for us, and it's added items onto the PO. Just like we saw in our purchase advice report, it sees that we need to order 5 of this Jack Dirt wing in order to bring this up to max. From here, this is just a regular PO. We could go into continue entry and we could add additional items onto this order. We can go into the item that just got put on here and we could adjust this and order additional items. A great tool, a little bit of pre-work you need to do, but will dramatically accelerate the creation of purchase orders for you and potentially keep you from overlooking either back orders or negative quantity items or items that you just always want to keep in stock.